Alrighty, guys, we are here with community member Mauricio. Mauricio, you've been in for about a year now, right?
Yeah, yeah, it's
Cool,
been a year.
sweet. Well, if you clicked on this video, you probably saw Mauricio had a first $10,000 month, high ticket sales, and my favorite thing to do is get people who hit that milestone or other milestones and have them just kind of elaborate on the experience going from beginner to the elusive $10,000 per month that everybody wants to hit. So, Mauricio, man, let's go back in time. Or actually, let's talk a little bit about the month that you just had. You know, hitting that awesome milestone, and then we'll go back in time
Sure.
and kind of build up to see how you got there. But like, what was it like hitting that first? I mean, you were chasing it for some time, but like, what was it like hitting that milestone?
Oh yeah, I mean, for me it was crazy, right? Because when I first started looking to get into this space, right, I always saw the ads of the 10K, and I don't know, somehow I always thought that it was gonna be like a crazy achievement, or it was gonna take me like a couple of years at least to get to that. So it was definitely great. I mean, besides of course the financial aspect of it, I mean, it was a huge personal milestone for me to reach that. It was a great feeling for sure.
Sure. And one of my favorite things, and as I like progress in business as well, is like, you know, the 10K in a month is cool. It feels good. Bank account looks good. But like knowing that you are capable of earning $10,000 in a month. So that way, when you go into future opportunities, it's like, yeah, I'm a person who is capable of doing this. Like you have that confidence that,
Yeah.
you know, maybe you're going into a 20K per month role. It's like, well, you know, I can perform. Um, so yeah, I guess what is going back to, you know, more towards last year about this time, you were actually in high ticket sales or attempting to pursue it before you joined the community for some time. Um, what was your experience like before you joined the community, and like what prompted you to jump in?
Yeah, so before starting with the community, and pretty much this is where my journey started with. Once I joined your community, to be honest, I was doing door to door selling solar. So definitely, I mean, it was high ticket, but completely
Yeah,
different world for sure. Of course, it was very hard, right? At least from where I'm at. I mean, it is a difficult market, so it was hard. I mean, that's how I started to getting a little bit more into sales. I started doing some sales training, right? I was thinking about getting better for solar, so that's how I started. I started learning about the communities, about the remote space. Wasn't too sure about how it worked, right? But of course, and I'm glad that algorithm and ads made its magic and connected me with you. So that's where it all changed for sure.
nice, nice. What were some of the frustrations that you were facing before you jumped into the community? Like you were in door to door solar, and obviously you can make great money in that, but there's pros and cons to doing that.
Yeah.
But when you decided, like, hey, you know, remote, high ticket sales, this is for me, you go and you start taking steps towards that. Like, what were some of the biggest like pitfalls that you were kind of experiencing on your own before the community?
Yeah, because actually, I also took like a closer training, right? And they offer the help to help you land a job in this space as well. The coaching, it was solid, to be honest, but on the other aspect of now landing a job, like I don't know if they just were not, that wasn't part of it, or
Yeah.
it didn't work out for them. But I mean, for me, I never got the right help to land a job, right? So that was the main issue that was definitely missing for me. Also, just understanding more the space, right? When I first joined the community, even before joining the community, I had like a one-on-one call with you, right? And you, I pretty much gave you all the details about my current situation, and you were pretty straightforward with me and transparent what how you can help me, and even gave me like an explanation of how it works in this space. So that was the thing that made me join your community for sure.
Cool. Yeah, it's. I mean, you kind of hit the nail on the head with a big part of the angle on the people that we work with is like, dude, they might be really already really good at sales, or they may have already gone through sales training, but it's like in this industry, the hard part is not the ability to sell; it's like finding the quality jobs. And so that's once we found out that that was like what most people struggle with, I mean, it just became like a an edge for us, kind of. But anyways, man, so I know we haven't talked about it yet, but you do you still run your own the business on the side?
Yeah, yeah, I still have a small food business. So, I mean, when I started, it's crazy that you mentioned, right? Because I was thinking about it the other day, and talking with my wife about it. I mean, my goal was like, okay, I'll run my business. I'll start making some extra money here on the side, right, with sales. Uh, doesn't take much of time from what it seems like. But when I started seeing the opportunity after several months, right, and just the results that I was getting, I was like, hey, you know what? Here's the business. Like, I'll help you on the financial aspect or more as the owner, CEO, right? But I need to focus 100% on the sales. So, I mean,
Yeah,
we currently have the business as well. She's pretty much running the business now. I help her with the financial aspect of it, but yeah, I mean, I went completely full time into sales just because of the results that I was getting, and I mean the opportunity that's definitely out there.
nice. What was it? The first like okay, so the role that you're in now that allowed you to hit the month that was probably somewhere on the thumbnail or the title, whatever, is not the first one that you got. So you had a little bit of like a lot of people. You got to kind of play the game a little bit. You got to get your foot in the door, get some results, get into the better role, and then just like leverage up. But like, what was your experience kind of like getting that first role, proving yourself, and then working up from there?
Yeah, I know. I mean, it was quite some experience. To be honest, I feel like even though there has been like, I don't want to say like negative stuff, but not the best, right, or not the most positive things. But I feel like every single step that I did and everything that happened throughout my journey has been for a reason, and it has had a purpose. The reason why I say this is because the first role that I landed, it was a role where pretty sure everyone can relate, and it was one of those roles, right? But marketing, not very good leads, whatever it is, right? So, I mean, it was like that for me, but in, I saw it and I spoke with you about it. I don't know if you remember. I mean, it wasn't like a great opportunity to make money, but for me, I saw like, okay, this is my opportunity to get some experience in this space, to understand the space, how it works. So till this day, that's how I see it. Like, and I truly believe like because of that opportunity that I had, which wasn't like a good one on the number side or on the result side, I mean that helped me to understand a lot. And also, I mean, for me, it was like, okay, like maybe I didn't want to put an excuse that it was a bad offer, so I found ways to make at least some money, right, and some results, just to understand, right, how I can approach the leads, how I can find leads. So that helped me a lot. And till this day, I would do it the same way, like start with that instead, like with a very good one, because that would have given me like a whole different approach into it. So once I gained like some experience there, I felt like I was better, right, and I could look for a more important opportunity. I started connecting with people. I started being more active in that community. Uh, I mean, I was just trying to connect with, because that's where I was hearing from everyone, right? Uh, it's from your network. I got offered because I was talking to this guy, and their offer they were looking for someone. So that's why I started doing. I mean, after like 4 months of joining that community, at the beginning I thought like, oh, I just want to get better with my skills. So then I understood a little bit more of the game. So that's how I landed my second opportunity. It was from a guy that I connected with because of another person. So I mean, it's just how the space works, right? And he connected me to the sales manager from that second offer, and I mean, it was a very great opportunity. I started there doing like just outbound hours. Uh, it went pretty good. I moved up as treasurer. By the end, I was also closing for downsell options. I was also like someone like the setters manager. Even like for me, that was crazy because I had like 4 or 5 months of being in this space. So, but that was just because like I was active, and that's something that I would always like say. And when people reach out to me, or even from the same offer, like, hey, like, why are you having those results, right? I'm just like, I mean, yeah, the skills is important, right? And of course, it's a big part of it. But if you put in the work and just outside of, okay, here's the channel, or here's my list that I need to call or meetings, I mean, there's a ton of opportunity outside of that. So
Yeah.
I mean, that's just me. That's how I've been all my life, right? Just I can't stay still. So that was a perfect opportunity where I could get results that way. Just reaching out on different platforms. They had like a lot of different venues on how to get leads. So that I feel like there's a like a good opportunity there. I'm pretty sure on every offer or most offers that a lot of people waste, right? So
Yeah.
that was what worked for me. There was like a personal situation with the owner. I mean, with him, not him and myself, but for him, the that offer pretty much it's not active anymore, I believe. So that's when I move into my current offer, right, which is pretty much DM closing, very unique offer. But that one I got it also from networking, and now this was directly from zero sales. So
Yeah.
yeah, no, definitely it is something that I would recommend 100% to always be communicating, right? Networking, trying to connect as much as possible. You'll never know when that opportunity comes. So yeah, I mean that's how it happened from one day to another. I was able to land that job. Pretty much just had like a one call with the owner because of the recommendation from that other person, and yeah, that's how this 10K milestone happened.
Nice. Um, I wanted to ask you, well, I wanted to say something on that, but then you mentioned multiple times the network. I know from the outside, someone watching this who's not in it yet doesn't really understand that. And it kind of sounds like very arbitrary. Like it doesn't,
Yeah,
it's hard to like comprehend, but you mentioned multiple times you got these roles by talking to people and then talking to people that knew those people. And pretty much, man, like that's kind of the game until you get to a point where you have results that are just undeniable and you can cold apply to anything and be considered. And that's just like, I think it's just amplified in the community a little bit because people come in knowing that they need to talk to people, they need to get in the right room, they need to be one of the first people to see opportunities when it's posted.
yeah,
Um, and you just had 10K month from a role. It wasn't like blasted out, but like you talked to a guy who presented it to you and 10K month DM closing, which I think you're the first person I've interviewed that like kind of has that DM closing title and did
yeah.
10K per month, which is awesome. Um, if you had to do it again in half the time, knowing what you know now, how would you do it differently?
Yeah, I think I mentioned it right that it took me about 4 months to understand that part of the game. So I'll definitely like start right away doing that networking, right? And it's not about reaching out to someone and hey, do you have a job, right? It's just making friends, right? At the end of the day, and that's also what we do on the calls.
Yep.
Um, that's definitely something that I would change. I wouldn't take that much time to start networking and connecting with others. But yeah, I mean that I would say that's the main thing. Of course, you'll find the time to still get better in your skills, to do some get coached, right, or do some training for specifically for the calls. But for sure, I would do that. I mean, right
Yep.
away, even with no experience, for sure.
Makes sense. Well, I ran a little bit late to this meeting, so we are kind of running out of time here, unfortunately. If you guys are interested in connecting with Mauricio after he tells you how important networking is, which he should be, he just came up with new like sales focused social media pages. I'll link them below so you guys can connect. Try to don't just go and ask him a million questions. Try to provide value, and he'll help you out where he can. I'm sure. Um, and that's pretty much it. I appreciate you coming on, Mauricio. I know this month we're getting into the holidays a little bit quieter, but still pacing a really solid month.
Yeah.
And I think there's big things coming. I mean, we were talking before we turned it on. Closing is next, and if you can do 10K a month DM closing, I don't know why you wouldn't be able to do 10 act like video call closing. So, um, and I do gotta jump into the next one, but I do appreciate you jumping on,
Of
and
course. Thank you.
we'll see where this takes you.
Appreciate it, Dylan. Thank you very much for everything.